$25 from eFoods Direct. Go to efoodsdirect.com/Alex or call 800-409-5633. That's efoodsdirect.com/Alex. 800-409-5633.
Waging war on corruption. Alex Jones on the GCN Radio Network. Big Brother, mainstream media, government cover-ups. You want answers? Well, so does he. He's Alex Jones on the GCN Radio Network. And now, live from Austin, Texas, Alex Jones.
That's right. We are live into the second hour. All over the country, they're banning what restaurants can serve, how much salt. School districts are saying parents can't pack your lunch. You must buy it from the company store. Supreme Court rules that prosecutors are allowed to frame you, that it's a good American policy. There is no justice in America, and prosecutors should know it's open season on the slaves, already with the biggest prison population in the world. Big news on Fukushima coming up, and the increased radiation levels in Japan, but also here in North America. That's all coming up. Lieutenant Colonel Anthony Shaffer joins us towards the end of the next hour. Coming up in about 30 minutes, Webster Tarpley joins us. But right now, Nick, Mike, Richard, Steve, John, and others, I want to talk to you. The toll-free number is 1-800-259-9231. Nick in California. What do you think of all the news we covered last hour?
Oh, it's insane. It's everything. So with the schools, the warning about it is, you get one bad employee in there, and they've got something in on you, kids, drug or something. Well,
that's right. Or if if the school officials are obsessive, compulsive vegans, then they're going to try to make your kids vegans. So the point is, they're now mommy and daddy in these public schools.
Well, they're going to have to force them to give organic. In Chicago, the warning is maybe you can't place your bag lunch anywhere without having it secure, because I've been in the Catholic school and I found priests in the lunch school box in where we're not supposed to be there, and anything can happen to you.
That's right. That's right. Predators. There are a lot of great people that want to teach children and help them, but then there's also the predators, want to be truancy officers, want to be priests, want to be teachers, want to be Boy Scout leaders because they're perverts, and we've got to remember that. But notice the system's trying to make it where they've got full control of your kids.
Got about 6 points to cover in about 2 minutes.
Yeah, go ahead.
First of all, L.A. Times and Sacramento Bee on March 21st or 22nd, there's a very good article on Diablo Canyon and the emergency pumps being out for 16 months.
Okay, I don't really know what you're talking about there. What's the next point?
Okay.
Oh, you're talking about the radiation meters?
No, that's our nuclear reactor on a fault. They found our lieutenant governor come on earlier than that and announced that he discovered that the pumps have been not in. Well,
if the reactor blows up, people ought to be thankful. Radiation makes you not get cancer. Ann Coulter said so.
Had alternatives. Okay, the next point is they're changing the standards. They're altering the radiation standards.
Yes.
At the same time, this week they're going to announce that there are terror warnings being changed to only elevated to intimate. We're being swamped in anything easier than that. Okay,
we're going to jump here in a minute. What's the other points?
You had asked one time, we're about a year anniversary, where the guy, he pulled a John Denver. He flew his airplane into that IRS building in Texas.
Yeah, the stack attack.
You asked at that time what else happened. And at that same day, they were opening embassy in Dubai with moat and a wall. And then the next thing is in the death toll in Japan. Thank you so much for hollering the third day about it being the 10,000, because they were giving me a stroke when they were going, 250 dead, 30 missing, like that. And the next day, 60 missing, 400.
No, I hear you, sir, and I appreciate your call, Nick. We're going to come back, try to hurry through the calls. And I'm glad to hear from you, Nick, but we've got to have the callers on a minute or two just to hear your points and move on, because if there's like 20 points, we just can't get to it all. These are government crisis management techniques to always lowball the number of dead, and then later people don't hear about it when it's 30,000 dead. Or to early on, when everybody's paying attention to a story, say there is no radiation or it's very low, no big deal. So then when it's 7.5 million times safe levels, that's a month later. Nobody's really paying attention. And we're raising the radiation levels to thousands of times what they were previously, but it's good for you. All right, we're going to come back, go to Mike, Richard, Steve, John, and others. Stay with us. A very wealthy U.S. citizen is predicting that in 2011, we will witness the most important day in America in more than 50 years. He says it will change everything about our lives. The way you shop, travel, invest, educate your children, and even how you take care of your health and your own family. Now, this man has made some outrageous predictions over the years. The crazy part is, he's usually right. You see, he predicted the collapse of GM, Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, and America's biggest mall owner, General Growth Properties. In fact, Barron's called his work a dire prophecy. Recently, he created a video, which you can watch online for free, detailing his biggest and most important prediction yet. And it's a real eye-opener. I can't stress this enough. You should at least watch this free video online today. He explains everything you need to know, including simple steps you can take to protect yourself. You can find the video at www.endofamerica3.com. That's endofamerica3.com. Watch the free video at www.endofamerica3.com. That's endofamerica3.com. Hi folks, this is Alex Jones, and I want to tell you about the Silver Lungs generator. Now you can produce pure and endless colloidal silver and deliver the solution directly into the bloodstream by breathing the solution through the lungs. The respiratory system is the first line of defense for airborne pathogens and viruses. The Silver Lungs generator infuses the respiratory system with your self-produced nano-silver solutions and also delivers the silver nanoparticles instantly into the bloodstream. With continued legislation threatening the sale of nano-silver products, you can now produce pure and endless colloidal silver with the Silver Lungs generator. Very easy to follow step-by-step instructions are provided, making production fast and simple. Go to www.silverlungs.com today and learn more about the breakthrough technology of the Silver Lungs generator. That's www.silverlungs.com. Hundreds of nations have fallen to tyranny in the last century alone. This is our last chance to not relive history.
As they're finishing off this agenda, they'll be pulling the rug from underneath Americans at home.
I have tremendous influence on our president and Congress, and they really are calling the shots.
I think it's incumbent upon all of us as American citizens to pay attention.
Fall of the Republic identifies the enemies of our nation, the criminal offshore cartel, hell-bent on destroying sovereignty, and on its ashes constructing world government.
Tim Geithner, Bernanke, they're arsonists. They're asking for more matches. And the Congress is saying, who do we make the check out to?
Today, seems like nobody does care. And right now in Washington, D.C., we have seen a fall of the Republic.
Get your copy of Fall of the Republic on DVD at Infowars.com or watch it online right now in super high quality at PrisonPlanet.tv.
Big Brother, mainstream media, government cover-ups. You want answers? Well, so does he. He's Alex Jones on the GCN Radio Network. And now, live from Austin, Texas, Alex Jones.
We are live now into hour number 2, continuing with your phone calls. And Webster Tarpley, historian and economist, will join us on Bretton Woods 2 and George Soros's announcement that the dollar is already not the world reserve currency. And the consensus from the meeting of top globalists in New Hampshire is that they are going to move towards getting rid of the dollar and giving more power to the bankers that have engineered the implosion. Also, gold hits record on euro. Silver jumps to 31-year top. Also, more reports coming out about honeybees dying all over the world. The government's answer is, hey, no big deal. Not just in Chicago, but other school districts are moving to say parents cannot bring school lunches. Parents cannot be trusted to pack the lunches. Only the school can be trusted. Also, the Supreme Court has ruled that prosecutors are allowed to frame you, knowing you're innocent, and withhold evidence of your innocence. So we are in deep trouble. But this is the cycle in humanity, folks. Always let things get out of hand before they finally wake up. The awakening is happening, so they're rolling out the Homeland Security, COG, federalization grid to try to suppress us, but it's not going to work. We are going to win. As the system abuses more and more people, they will be soldiers in the info war to awaken others. Let's hurry to your calls now. Mike in Illinois. Mike, you're on the air. Welcome.
Yes. Hi, Alex. Thank you very much. I want to thank you for being a true patriot. The thing I'm calling about, I'm appalled as to how, Japan is handling this nuclear problem here. We, in my company, we our company that supplies zeolite, they could have easily, saturated the area with zeolite.
Yeah, for those that don't know, that's a type of rock formation that absorbs radioactivity. They dumped a lot of it on Chernobyl, and it's one of the most effective things to basically neutralize it and encapsulate it. But that's not happening. Go ahead.
No, we've been in touch with the council there, and finally they're in correspondence with us right now. We're ready to ship.
Well, that's because the state, finally the governor for the Fukushima prefecture, as you know, has come out and said the government's lied. I'm going to cover that, but for folks that don't know what this rock formation is, explain to them what it does.
Well, what it does is it ionically absorbs the radiation, like the cesium that was, around the plant there. That would have, contained that. They could have then, got that and dumped it, somewhere where it would have been under control. Even with the water that was spilled out into the ocean there, they could have treated it with the zeolite where it would have absorbed, the radiation there to a great degree.
And for folks that don't know, that's even recommended by the IAEA, but they've never recommended it to Japan. And that what Japan did with the hundreds of thousands of fuel rods blown hither and yon, according to the New York Times, as far as a mile away, it brings a new kicker to the point of sweeping it under the rug. They just had bulldozers cover the spent fuel rods that'll continue to leach into the soil and water.
Exactly. And even, like they fed it to the reindeer, the people up in the Ukraine around Chernobyl, because it was probably the only thing that prevented millions of people from dying at that point. It was just, such a catastrophe. And again, as people see on the television, there's no real indication that you're receiving this radiation.
You would think that the Pentagon, who's pulled back 200 miles from Fukushima 3.5 weeks ago, would be honest with us about what radiation readings they're getting. But if you notice in all the news, we're only getting state and local radiation increase readings and testing of milk and food. We're not getting any of this from the federal government. It's local independent government agencies and private groups that are doing it. So the cover-up in Japan is the same policy here in the United States, and it's ongoing. But I've got quotes from our media, ABC News experts and others, saying it's now contained, the crisis is over. The crisis is intensifying.
Yes, it will. And what they're doing right now, they ship that big pump over there, and they're going to cover it with cement. No zeolite in there at all. So, again, they're going to have to put it on there eventually. And as you said on one of your shows there, when you saw that mushroom cloud, from the explosion, you knew that it was a done deal. At that point, they had to take some drastic action. We even tried to contact the State Department here to help us, with the shipment of this over there and what have you. But it's all sort of gone on deaf ears. But
where are the thousands of U.S. helicopters and personnel who could do one pass apiece? Well, they say the radiation's too high, but they won't give us the numbers. They should have had helicopters day one dumping the zeolite on top of it. Exactly.
Alex, it's criminal in my mind. And then they're not supplying it to the people out there. They're not, it's not really my department in the company, to be dealing with this. But I was off today, so I was able to sit and listen to you again. But
well, Mike, let me expand on that, because everything's fine. The EPA put out a report last week that they've now raised, and I'm directly linking through to them via this article, America and EU agree, raise radiation levels for food, and everything's fine. It says that the new standards would result in nearly a 1,000-fold increase for exposure to strontium-90, a 3,000 to 100,000-fold hike for exposure to iodine-131, and almost a 25,000% rise for exposure to radioactive nickel-63, all the things being found here. So they say it's suddenly fine, sir. So what's the problem? Government wouldn't lie to you. Are you a conspiracy theorist, sir? 100,000 times safe level for strontium-90 is good, sir. A 25,000 times